What's up, people? It's your boy Sly. In this video, I'm going to talk about um, the quality of life in America. It seems like living in America today is more of a headache than anything before. The average American today cannot I get ahead. It seems like they're stuck and people give up and they settle for a basic life. The thing is, right, living in America today is so hard that doing things the way you were taught to do them does not work. Let me be more explicit. If you want to start a business, for example, okay, you just don't wake up and start a business where you put money into it and you put in your capital, or it doesn't work that way. You have to have a business plan. You got to have capital. You got to have at least one or two people to get it started properly. You know what I mean? Like, people aren't taught these things. Like, for example, or also, if you want to go to law school, for example, people tell you all you got to do is just take the exam, pass the bar, and you're good, right? But that's not the case. To go to a top-notch law school or to go to a graduate school in general, you got to have letters of recommendations. You got to have like proper like networking and connections to get into get into the top schools. Like, they don't tell you that. They just tell you just apply and you'll get in. And I mean, applying does get in, but knowing people makes it a lot more easier. Most people in America today are frustrated. Okay, most people here are miserable. And the recent study has conducted that 78% of all Americans live from paycheck to paycheck, right? So that shows you how things really are, right? So when things become the way they are, things tend to take a nasty turn. Like, more people in America today are more aggressive, they are more frustrated, they are more angry, and they're more violent. More Americans are experiencing like tough times. And part of it is in correlation to the increased population, increase of the prison population. More people in America are going to jail than ever before. Because so many people are stressed out. So many people are hopeless. They don't believe that their condition will be better. They don't believe that they'll get ahead. So they tend to overreact and commit violent crimes. I have seen situations where people can barely feed themselves. You have older people now in America who cannot feed themselves. Can't do it. Because in America today, many companies are not hiring the elderly. This is a fact. Look it up. Many companies, if you're past 40 or 50 and you don't have a job skill if you don't have a job that's in demand, like healthcare or some kind of if you don't have any like in healthcare, any other field you apply for, they're not going to hire you. They're not going to hire the elderly, People who are 45 and above, I can say flat, 45 and above, they're not hiring you. For the good paying jobs, they're not hiring you. Okay? If you have if you don't have a skill that people want, no one's going to mess with you. No one's going to talk to you. Okay? So this is what's going on in America today. So a lot of the elderly people you see today are now on food stamps, or they're on unemployment, or there's some kind of government assistance. Okay? So this is what's happening in America today. So if you don't have money, lack of money causes stress, depression, and anger. So This is what's happening. Okay, and many of these older people, some of them are now in nursing homes, and the reason why they're in nursing homes is because they can't take care of themselves, and society does not want the elderly on the streets. Okay, then secondly, they probably have kids who don't want to deal with them. That's why nursing home were even made in the first place. Kids who cannot take care of their parents. Some can, but they just don't want to. But overall, I feel everything is going to get worse and worse because right now you have young people today who cannot find jobs. Okay, like so many people today are having a tough time just to make ends meet. Like the average American has about $40,000 in student loan debt. And apart from student loan debt, people have mortgage debt, people have um, credit card debt. So, and yet they're working a job that can barely that can barely feed them. Like some people are working jobs that pay $10 an hour or $15 an hour. 50 bucks an hour ain't that bad. Okay, but some people are working jobs $10 an hour, and before you know it, if you're working $10 an hour, you're working full time. How much money do you really have left over? Because you have to pay your rent. Most places, if you want to live in a decent location, in any city you go to, you're looking to spend about $1,000 a month minimum. Okay, so that's why a lot of people today are so stressed. Okay, people are stressed out because at least people in America are stressed out because they don't have any disposable income. So this is what's happening in America today. America today is all messed up. See, and to even get an apartment, in apartment complexes want you to have a job that is 3 times the rent. For example, if your rent is about $1,000 a month, okay, the apartment complex will tell you and say the job you have must pay you the job you have must pay around 3 grand or more, because they do that because they want to make sure that you have a job and to make sure that they have their rent coming in each month. They don't want someone that may or may not pay. They don't want that. So that's what happens. Okay. So overall, everyone in America is getting more, frustrated. That's why you have people today who are 30, 40 years old having roommates. People are now having roommates just to save money. Okay, the quality of life here is really fucked up. Okay, so now a lot of people tend to understand or start to feel that to get ahead in America is harder than it looks. To get ahead is way harder. And everyone's getting stressed out, everyone's getting pissed off, everyone's getting mad. Because it feels like no matter how hard you work, your hard work ain't paying off. You feel me? Like, it seems like you can work 2 jobs, you can work 3 jobs, and it still feels like you're in quicksand. You're not getting ahead. A lot of people bust their ass every day and they can't get ahead. The quality of life in America is going down. Okay? That's why there's so much frustration out here. America today is so stressful. That's why people have heart attacks at early ages. People are in depression. People are taking medicine just to cope with daily stress. They have this thing called antidepressants. People are taking that stuff because because living here is so depressing. No one talks about it, but that's the truth. A lot of people who left the United States, who moved to other countries, I've heard that their stress level is very low compared to living here. because a lot of people in America today are so stressed out because one, you're working a job you don't like in most case scenarios. Secondly, you have to pay your bills. Bill collectors don't give a damn. They want their money, and they'll call you if you don't answer their calls. They'll send you emails. If you don't answer their emails, they'll send you letters or whatever they do. Okay. So you have all this stuff, and it feels like, for example, let's say, for example, most people on average are making about $3,000 a month on average. Okay. So you have about $1,000 for your rent. Then you pay about, let's just say, $300 for your utilities, your water, your sewage, trash, all this stuff, right? Then you add about maybe $200 for transportation, gas and everything. Then you spend money on food and everything. Then you don't have much money left over. But these bill collectors, they want the money though, but how can you pay it off? Because you don't have much income to spend to pay off those bills. So guess what? Your interest rate on those debts keep increasing. So basically, it feels like because you can't pay, you're being punished. Basically, that's how I see it as. Because you can't pay this month, the interest keeps on increasing, right? It's ridiculous. Okay? So you have all these stress factors kick in. Before you know it, it causes problems in people's personal lives. Like, I watched a clip on YouTube where a woman at Walmart, she quit her job. She said, fuck it, I quit. Another job I saw, another guy at Walmart, he punched his supervisor in the break room, threw his badge in the air and said, I quit. See, I don't know what these people went through, but I do know that they were probably stressed out. Okay? Then, upon all those things happening, right, you have to worry about socialization, because the average American does not socialize. The average American does not socialize with each other. They don't. People are very secretive. They're very protective, or they're very unfriendly. So, it's just the way it is. I had a friend of mine who was in the United States. He was working here and everything. He had a problem with his employer. He was stressed out. He went to the doctor. The doctor told him, take this medicine. He was like, I'm not taking this shit, which is antidepressants. Then, he didn't have a good time. So he then went back to Europe. He went back to his country. In Czech Republic. And he was relaxed. He told me that he said that after moving back to Czech Republic, his stress level was so low. He wasn't as stressed out as he was before compared to living in the United States. And I can attest to this because when I was in Montreal, I was relaxed. I was just my level. I was relaxed when I was in Montreal. I was okay. I loved it. People were laid back. Nobody was rushing. People just walk around the city. They were enjoying each other's company. Just having a good time. But living in the United States today, everyone is rushing. Okay? Rush. Everyone's rushing somewhere. They're rushing to the store. They're rushing to work. They're rushing to get off the road after work. You know what I mean? Everywhere they go is rush. They can never just take life and relax and enjoy life. Everything here is so fast-paced that people are so worried about, shit that's not really that important. But because of the culture, everyone's rushing to do something. People don't know how to enjoy that. People don't know how to enjoy life. So many people here, they spend their time working. Some people who have good paying jobs. Some people who make money, who make good paying jobs. What they do is that they actually start working more and more and more. They work so hard because they were in poverty, for example. Some people were in poverty, And they told themselves they would never go back to poverty ever again. So you know what they did? They became workaholics, working 80-hour work weeks because their jobs they have a lot of overtime. So they become workaholics, or they have two jobs. So they work. They work so much to the point where they don't have any friends to hang out with or socialize. They start buying things. They start buying cars. They start buying clothes. They start going on vacations. Vacation ain't bad, so I can't say that. But they start spending money on consumerism. But they don't know how to enjoy life. Because so many people who have been in poverty before, they say, I'll never go back to poverty. So they work so much. But yet these same people don't know how to enjoy life. That's why a lot of people you see always try to form close relationships with people who they don't know that well. They try to form a close relationship with people. You know, like America, we are so isolated. If one person is nice to us, some of us tend to over-examine the friendship or the relationship. We over-examine it, and we try to make them our best friend, like only after a month of knowing that person. Because we are so isolated in America. That's what it is. You know? A lot of people today do not know how to enjoy life. That's why you see this division in America. Not division, but this isolation in America. People are very lonely, but they can't talk about it. That's why people spend so much money on therapists. So you're going to spend about $100 an hour to talk to someone about your problems when you can easily find a friend. But Americans don't have many friends, or their friends will judge them. So you're basically paying for a friend to hear your story. You know, this is what's happening in America today. People here aren't so happy. Canada is right above the United States. The culture is similar. Okay, the U.S. culture and the Canadian culture is kind of similar, but the only difference is that in Canada you don't pay much taxes compared to the United States. Canadian taxes are pretty low compared to the U.S. Okay, Canada also, like I said, when I was in Canada, people were more laid back. Okay, so many people I've heard they travel to the Caribbean islands or they go to like Asia. Some of them don't ever want to come back here to the U.S. because they realize the quality of life in the U.S. is so stressful to the point where you start having health problems. Like some people actually have silent heart attacks. Some people suffer from dehydration because they work so much they forget to drink water or drink electrolytes. Okay? So many people forget to do basic things. You know, the health here is horrible. Look at the food we eat the food we eat in this country, the ones that's produced is so nasty. Okay? They're horrible. But because of good marketing, good advertising, people buy it. You know? Like all these fast food restaurants you see here, majority of them are not healthy. McDonald's, Burger King, that shit's not healthy for you. Studies have even conducted that McDonald's food is not healthy. Even though it passes regulations, doesn't mean it's healthy for you. But a lot of people are so lazy to do their own research because the average American does not read. They don't read. So they believe whatever the media tells them to do. Whatever the media says, they believe it because it's easier. Okay? A lot of times we are living in a country where we're stressed out every day. The average American here is not happy. And I don't see myself living in a society where I can't talk to people. Because they said as human beings, we need social interactions to function normally. We have to interact with people normally on a daily basis to feel normal. You cannot, they say no man's an island. If you don't talk to people, you go crazy. People go crazy because nobody wants to talk to them. People become isolated. Not isolated, people become, you know, crazy. That's why some people you see in the news or whatever it is, they start doing stupid shit so that somebody will talk to them. Like some people make racist comments because they know that's the only way people will talk to them. You know, if someone says something racist, if someone says something racist, what happens? Everyone will start to interact and say, "How dare you say that?" But in reality, they're only doing it because they want attention. Some people are so worthless that they have to create drama as a means for people to talk to them, and they feed off the negative energy. Some people are like this. You know, a lot of times, our society we live in today is so absurd. Like I see stuff that happens, it makes me question a lot. Like for example, like we have this thing of sexual frustration. Okay, some people are sexually frustrated, or some people are in a celibate. Okay, if this happens because they can't find a partner that will have sexual relations with them. I know it's all a joke here in the United States, oh, you're a loser, but it does take a toll on someone's life. Okay? That's why dating in the United States is so hard. Because people don't know what the hell they want, for one. And two, the options are so, the average person has so many options. They don't have to be faithful. Think about it. If you are dating somebody and you have 5 girls chasing you at the exact same time, the girl you're with, you won't take her seriously. If she doesn't want to if she don't do what you want, you just say, you know what? I can go with somebody else. That's how it is in America. Okay? At least in other countries, in other cultures, people try to be monogamous. It's not always the case, but people do try to be monogamous because being loyal is more important than having multiple flings. Like in America, men like to sleep around with many girls to prove their manhood. That's why you see guys before they're like 35, they say, I slept with like over 50 girls. I slept with 100 girls. Right? But in other cultures, the ones I've seen, they don't give a fuck about that shit. They don't care about that crap. They really don't. They don't, I mean, yes, people do sleep around, but nobody counts the numbers as if it's like some kind of like badge of honor. But in America, we do that shit. You know? Like, some people feel sleeping with a girl on the first date you meet her makes her a whore. Oh, she's a whore. She slept on the first date. But in some cultures, it just shows that the guy and the girl had chemistry. That's all it is. It doesn't mean nothing. You know? That's why I say American culture is all fucked up. It's backwards. You know? It's totally backwards out here. A lot of people focus on stupid shit. Like, many people here, they spend money on fancy clothes, nice car, and they're doing this stuff just to impress other people. They're not doing this stuff because they actually like those flashy items. They don't do it. Have you not seen this shit before? Where some people, for example, will buy like, I don't know, let's say for example, a new car, for example, right? And the car is nice, everything. Oh, everyone, they love the attention, right? Then what happens after? 6 months later, I don't like this car anymore. I'm gonna trade it in. And you're like, so basically, why'd you buy the car in the first place? Because they want to impress in some cases, they want to impress other people. In some cases, not all cases, but in some cases, they want to impress other people. You know? We live in a society today where everything is fake, nobody is real, and everyone likes to pretend that they're doing well. The average American is miserable. Okay? And I'm not saying you should show your misery. No, I don't believe in that. But a lot of people like to pretend that things are good when things aren't good. You know, so many people are afraid to ask for help because somebody will look down on them. You know what I mean? And that's the American culture. You know, I don't mind asking for help. Okay, I really don't. But I mean, I've learned the hard way that some people only want to help you out to boost their own ego. But at the same time, that shit does backfire because a lot of times, a lot of people. Do you know why people are fucked up or not? Do you know why people are angry sometimes? It's because so many people they're going through hard times and nobody will help them out. That's why they're pissed off. Let me give you an example. So many people are losing their homes, right? They can't afford to pay their rent or they can't afford to pay their car note. And they can't ask anyone for help because it's not because they're ashamed. It is due to the fact that they can't ask anybody. You know why? Because they have no friends. They have no friends that would help them out. Or they have no one that would help them out. So they end up losing their homes, losing their car note, losing everything because they burned every bridge in the book. That's what happens. See, a lot of times Americans today are so angry that they want to explode because life here has become so complicated that people don't know what to do anymore. You know, I see people on the street walking down. It's like when I'm in my area, when I see people are just walking alone most of the time. They're on their cell phone or they have their iPod in their ear. They don't want to talk to nobody. Or some people are with their dog and they're walking them. They don't even want to. It's like they don't want to talk to nobody. There's no socialization out here, and it's going to get worse. I say within the next 2 to 5 years, it's going to get worse to the point where people are only going to like talk to you if they need something. It's not going to be casual cracking jokes. Nope, not anymore. Because what happens now is most interactions we have with people is usually business related. Usually it's business related. If it's not related to business, they don't want to talk to you. There were many times I've tried talking to people and I try to be funny. I try to crack jokes and they just look at me weird. Like, okay. I'm like, God damn. Really? That's the way it is nowadays, you know? Most interactions in America today are not genuine. They are fake. That's why a lot of times when you talk to people, they tend to like ignore you. Or they tend to like, or they try to end the conversation and walk away as soon as possible. We're going through a lot of crap in America today to the point where it's going to be to the point where everyone is just faking it. Everyone's miserable. No one's happy. And I said it before and I'll say it again. Nobody wants to hear an old man gossip. Okay? If you start gossiping, you're going to find yourself alone. And I'm being sincere. Of course, people will listen to your gossip, but they're like, I'm not talking to that guy. He's fucking worthless. You know? But that's the way it is in America today. Everything here is fake. Nothing's real. And a lot of people are going to the Matrix. It's like you're taught to live in the Matrix and don't ask no questions. You know what I mean? It's like, how dare you question the establishment? How dare you question society? Live in society and conform. Basically, it's like this. If you're walking in the street, don't talk to nobody. Don't talk to anyone you don't know. Just keep it pushing. You know? That's pretty much what it is nowadays. Human interaction in America is fake. It's not real. And so many people today are dying inside. You know, there's so many people who are dying alone today. People are taking drugs. People are taking alcohol. People are doing all this stuff to ease their pain of depression. You know, suicide in America is so high. You know, but that'll be another topic. That'll be another topic, though. Let me know what you think. Peace.